are then, guys, at the head of the grid. We're about to get racing here for the sprint race here at Motive for the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go, and it looks like GJ didn't get a great start. Jansen's got him off the line coming down towards turn one. Vincent Janssen leads us here as GJ stood ahead of Bennett, who's right behind him in third place right now. We've got a bit of action going on here as Little Greavy and Matty Pitt have swapped places, and the Greaves also got ahead of Matty Pitt. So Matty Pitt not getting a great run there out of La Source. Demsbecky there's going to move through ahead of Matty Pitt as well here coming through Eau Rouge. So Matty Pitt there's lost 3 places here in the early stages, but GGJ's got a run here on his teammate, and he's going to make the move here coming down the Camel Straight. So GGJ gets himself back up into the lead here as they come down towards their comb. Bennett there, right there ahead of Little Greavy, followed by Demsbecky. You got Matty Pitt making a move down the inside of the Grieve, but the Grieve just keeping himself there, squeezing him to the edge of the track, and still ahead of him right now is the Grieve, but Matty Pitt almost coming back at him there. Mr. Basil ahead of that guy Sean, followed by Jill Silver, who's looking down the inside of that guy Sean, but can't make the move there going into Brussels. But a few moves going on in this first lap. Currently Chartman's made a move here on Costas up into 14th place, so that's a good move there from him. But at the front it's GGJ leading the race from Janssen, and these guys coming through Pouin here for the first time. Genesis out of the race, so he's crashed out here on this opening lap. Is it going to be a safety car? It looks like it's going to be a VSC, so no safety car for the time being, but GGJ leading the race in the early stages with Vincent Janssen in second, Bennett there currently in third with Little Greavy fourth, followed by Demsbecky who's ahead of the Grieve. Then you got Matty Pitt in seventh ahead of Mr. Basil, that guy Sean, with Jill Silver in completing the top 10, followed by Crazy Max V10 Ultra, and Martin in 13th ahead of Chartman, followed by Costas, and then you got Polish My Balls ahead of HD Baguette, who's at the back, always starts at the back, does HD Baguette, and she likes to challenge herself and make her way back to the pack. But currently GGJ having got the lead back off of Janssen. Janssen got the jump him off of the line and led us into turn one, but since then GGJ managed to get a good run out of Radion, and currently has P1 here in this race, but still very early stages here in this sprint race. Obviously this is the first race of the night. There's 2 races here at Motive nowadays for the F1 League. We've got the sprint race and the Grand Prix coming up after that. I was just checking my audio there, but looks like we're all good. So here we go, GGJ leading us through Eau Rouge and Radion. You've got Bennett really close on the back of Janssen right now. Bennett's got some decent straight line speed. He'll have a good chance here of making this up, but he's a bit too far back coming in towards Lacombe at the moment. We're going to move being shaped up here. Mr. Basil's looking to the outside of Matty Pitt as we watch on board with Sean, who's right behind him. Mr. Basil looking to the outside, and surely that's going to be job done there for him. He goes very deep on the brakes though. Matty Pitt will be able to get him on the exit. Can Sean also get him? Sean's going to have to tuck in, I think, because Mr. Basil's going to have the preferred run there, but Matty Pitt moving back ahead of Mr. Basil there up into 7th place. Mr. Basil's also got a 3-second time penalty there, which will be added on to his race time at the end, and he's gone wide there, and Sean moves through up into 8th place. Mr. Basil might lose out to Jill Silver in here, who's right on the back of him as they come through No Name. Bis gives me a bit of a tap in the rear there. There's Jill Silver in, down towards Pouin we go, as Mr. Basil there is going to have to concede that position because Jill Silver in gets it around the outside and moves himself through up into 9th place. V10 Ultra right behind them as well as Martin, so Mr. Basil needs to get a move on here if he wants to not lose any more positions here. Seems to be getting a bit swamped here in the early stages of this race, but GGJ currently leading ahead of Janssen. Bennett right there with Little Greavy and Demsbecky, a top 5. Demsbecky's made some very quick progress through the pack here. Didn't get a great qualifying in, but since then, since the beginning of this sprint race, he's really made some hay, and he currently stands within about 2 seconds of the race lead at the moment. And Mr. Basil's made a mistake. What's happened to him? Mr. Basil's dropped back. Oh, he's down in P17, so he's had a spin here on lap 2 of the race. So his race has gone from bad to worse here. Mr. Basil in real trouble in the early stages of this race. He's going to be absolutely fuming with that. As we go back to the leaders, we've got Bennett doing the fastest lap of the race. He's now within a second of the race lead. He's really keeping the Red Bulls on their toes here tonight. Spa, a track that I know Bennett loves, and currently really putting on a good show here tonight with Little Greavy in the Haas not too far away either. So Little Greavy, I think, also likes this circuit. We've seen a few incidents coming through Eau Rouge and Radion over the seasons here at Motive. I remember standouts of season 1 and also season 3, we saw many incidents. Seems like the first season on a game always seems to catch drivers out, but maybe with the added experience, this first season on, oh well, actually it's the second season on F122 now, isn't it? Of course it is, but yeah, obviously well, season 3 was actually the second season on F1 2021 as well, so Yeah, I don't quite know what I'm trying to get at there. But in the meantime, HG Baguette's made the move on Costas up into 14th place. So nicely done there from her. Still the battle going on at the front between GGJ, Janssen, Bennett and Little Greavy. These four guys keeping each other on their toes at the moment. Sean is still keeping Matty Pitt very much honest there in that battle for 7th place. You can see Martin getting closer to the back of V10 Ultra as they come down towards Puon, but just a little bit too far back at the moment then. But GGJ still out the front, currently controlling things in this race. Janssen's keeping him very much on the same page though. Obviously, he did lead the race very briefly. Janssen off of the line, managed to get the jump, got around the outside of La Source, turn 1, lap 1. But then GGJ managed to return the favour coming out of turn 3, Radiant. And since then has held a slender advantage. But these two are going to have to be clever about how they do this. Are they going to be, I wonder if there's going to be any team orders here, because they've got Bennett right on the back of them. And Bennett's going to be, I think, potentially in a chance of making a move, especially with the DRS being open very soon. Bennett might be able to be a thorn in the side here for both of the Red Bulls, so they need to be on their guard here. But we're coming into turn 1 here once again, and you can see Little Greavy actually getting closer to Bennett in the braking zone, but he'll lose a bit of that time coming down towards Eau Rouge. But yeah, let's keep an eye on this, because right now they're all going to have DRS on each other. So Janssen, can he get a good run here through Radio? And if he can, he might be able to get his teammate coming down towards Lacombe, coming down the Camel Straight here for the 4th time in this race. You can see there, Janssen is very, very close. He's got the DRS now, looking to the inside. Surely this is going to be the lead here for Vincent Janssen. Down the inside he goes into Lacombe. He makes the move on his teammate there. GGJ gave him the space and let him through pretty much. He didn't really want to fight that one too hard. GGJ, obviously the championship leader, has got such a big lead in the championship this season, down to the fact that he's turned up to every race. A lot of the guys haven't, so he's pretty much he's almost home and dry in this season already. But let his teammate go without any real fuss there in that little debacle. Sean stood on the back of Matty Pitt. Genesis left the session, so he's not even planning on racing in the Grand Prix by the looks of it, unless he gets himself back in pretty sharpish. But HG Baguette nonetheless has got ahead of Crazy Max up into P15, so she's gained another place here in this race. But back to the leaders, Janssen still leading ahead of GGJ. Bennett though keeping these guys very much in the picture at this point, and he's been running in 3rd place since the beginning of this race. But obviously this is not where the big points are handed out. This is where some decent points are handed out, I must say. You get 8 points for a win, all the way down to a point for 8th, but 1 point differential between each position, so there's still plenty on the line, and it can help you out with your little battles, you know, your sort of little scrappy kind of situations on the leaderboard by the time we get to the end of the race, end of the season. As Demsbecky's got ahead of Little Greavy there up into 4th place. You can see there he's made the move into the bus stop chicane, so Demsbecky now can try and chase down the top 3 who are still continuing to go at it here. You've got Janssen now 3 tenths to GGJ as they're coming into La Source. And GGJ potentially going to be looking to try and return the favour here on Janssen. Janssen obviously used the DRS to get past him down the Camel Straight on the previous lap. Now are we going to be seeing a role reversal here as we come up through Radion? Janssen a little bit further ahead of GGJ than GGJ was of him on the previous lap, and I think he might just come up a bit short here for GGJ. I think Janssen's got a much lower downforce setup because he seems to have the pace in a straight line over him. And for the time being, Janssen has got the edge here over his teammate. Bennett still going in 3rd place. Demsbecky has managed to complete the move on Little Greavy. You've got Martin just making a move on V10 Ultra there into Lacombe, so he's up into P10. Polish My Balls is ahead of Chartman. That's because Chartman's lost it there going through Eau Rouge, so he's now lost out to HG Baguette and Crazy Max. Crazy Max. So HG Baguette now up into 14th place from what was the back of the grid, obviously in the early stages. As we go back to these leaders here, Polish My Balls with a 3-second time penalty. Also Sean and Jill Silverin, and obviously Mr. Basil we already knew about before. But Mr. Basil's retired from the session, so he's out of the race. What has happened there? So obviously he ran into trouble in the early stages. He's now DNF'd. Looks like it's only double waved yellow flags through the final sector. So no safety cars, no VSCs. Just a simple case of be careful, watch out for any potential hazards. But currently Janssen and GGJ coming down towards the bus stop once again, as we're noticing the timing screen here that Jill Silverin's losing a load of places. So he's had a spin, so Jill Silverin there losing it, coming out into the final sector there. He's going to lose out to Costas as well, so Jill Silverin having an unfortunate moment just there. HG Baguette's now pulling up onto the back of Polish My Balls here, so this is potentially a battle here for 13th place, and Obviously, it's been a good drive from HTB Get so far. She's only, well, she's within striking distance of Jill Silverman as well. So a P12 on the grid could definitely be on the cards for us. She looks now to the outside of Polish My Balls into the bus stop. Polish My Balls trying to hold the inside, but HTB Get has the inside for the second part of the bus stop. Oh, it's Jill Silverman's lost it there coming through the bus stop chicane. He spins around, gets it back facing the right way again, but he's lost out to Polish My Balls. HTB Get Chartman as well, making his way through as well as Crazy Max. So a nightmare there for him, but HTB Get up into 12th place here in this race, and I reckon that's probably going to be where she's going to start for the Grand Prix, because there's 6 seconds up the road to Costas, so a lot of work to do there for her to get herself anywhere higher than that. Matty Pitt's still on the back of the Grieve, as the Grieve's got it wrong there coming out of Lacombe, and Matty Pitt's going to swoop around the outside and says thank you very much to the Grieve, I will take that P6, and up he goes up into the position. But Janssen and GGJ still separated by about half a second at the moment, as we've got Mr. Basil there in the comments saying he retired in the pits. Yeah, shame to see that, mate, but we'll hopefully see you back out on the track for the Grand Prix. It'll be a P17 start for Mr. Basil, so he's got a lot of work to do in the Grand Prix, but if anybody can do it, I'm sure he can. But Janssen here just ahead of GGJ. You can see they've gapped Bennett by a little bit now. Obviously Bennett was keeping them very much in on the same wavelength in the early stages, but he's just dropped off of them a little bit. Devin Specky there running in 4th place, about a couple of seconds behind Bennett, and about 3.5 seconds off for the race leader at this point. In fact, I'm going to put a gap so it says the gaps of the leader, because I always prefer that one. It just gives you a bit more of an idea of the situation in terms of the bigger picture. Oh, Polish My Balls has lost it. Polish My Balls has put it in the wall there going through sector 2 on the exit of campus just before Stavilo. So Polish My Balls there into the wall, but no dramas. Oh, Jill Silverman spun it now as well in the same corner that Polish My Balls just lost it on the exit of campus, puts it in the wall on the right hand side instead of the left hand side. But Jill Silver in a bit of trouble. GGJ in the meantime is right on the back of Janssen here as we're coming down the Kemmel Straight. Here we go. Is this going to be another move for the lead here between the two Red Bull drivers? It is. And GGJ is going to swoop through down the inside. He goes into the lead of the race. He turns the tables there on Janssen. A few laps ago, Janssen did that move on him down the end of the Kemmel Straight. This time around, GGJ leads the race here as they come out of Lacombe down towards Brussels. GGJ, the championship leader, now hits the front, and these guys still a couple of seconds clear of Bennett running in 3rd place. And Jill Silver has just picked up a time penalty there for what I assume is track limits. But now this battle between GGJ and Janssen, Valentine